Hi, Keith from Bristol.
Keith, how are you, sir? What can I do for you?
Well, I'm basically ringing because the whole situation at the moment is quite unprecedented. I've got nothing to compare this year towards, and I'm just wanting to.
How old are you, Keith?
I'm 38 years old, sir.
Well, you sound much more youthful than that. I thought you were a whippersnapper. You're in fact an old man like me.
Yes, I have a high voice. Yeah,
no, I didn't say a high voice. No, a young voice. I never implied you were light on your feet or a friend of Dorothy's. I wasn't insinuating that at all. Heaven forbid.
Nothing wrong with that, is there? No, we don't.
No. I've auditioned in the past, but there's no gingers welcome, so I have to fill in when they're short-staffed. Apparently.
Surely that's not woke, though. Oh no, they don't like the gingers.
They don't like gingers. No. You can't get away with that. They ban you from the nightclubs and things like that. Right. What can I do for you, sir? Well, so what is it that's bothering you the most about the 12 months?
Well, I think because I struggle with mental health and anxiety, and
is that a real thing? Can I ask you an honest question? Right, hang on, pause.
Yes,
We've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Is this mental health thing a real thing, or is it just like everybody else through the decades that we've just get a bit down on some days and we have to pull our own boots up and get on with life? Life's quite tough, isn't it?
What it is with me, it's basically I had abuse growing up, and it's stayed with me, and I'm constantly in the process of trying to shift that. And yeah.
Can I ask you what type of abuse, or is it too private?
Physical, sexual.
Right.
Yeah.
How old were you, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, with the sexual abuse, that would have been about 9 years old.
And you know this isn't your fault, and you know that the disgusting scumbag that did that to you is nothing short of hell on wheels.
Well, that's a very complicated issue.
Well, no, it's not complicated.
The person that did that wasn't a dastardly mustache twirling villain.
No, they are. No, they are.
Met plenty of.
No. Excuse me. Pause.
You know,
excuse me. Hold the phone. Excuse me. Any person. How old were they? Roughly.
Late 20s.
Okay. Let me tell you. You need to get this in your head and understand it to get any closure and clarity in your life. What that person did to you is despicable, indefensible, and there is no way on God's earth anyone can justify what they did, right? You're a boy at 9, they're 20 years older than you. There is absolutely no defense whatsoever. I want you to think about that line only. There is absolutely no defense. No matter what you've been told or what you believe, you are the victim. And that person took advantage of a child. Do you understand?
I do, and I wasn't really planning on raising.
No, I know
that
you weren't,
subject,
but I knew we were going here, and that's why I asked you the question.
But
I've been doing this.
Saying,
hang on.
If I disagree, sorry.
I've been doing this a long time, and I knew that was the way that was going to go. But you need to understand, right, that your mental health is due to you holding some responsibility for what happened to you that is not your fault, that is utterly, completely, and 100% indefensible. And I hope that scumbag rots in hell. I don't know who they are, and I don't want to know who they are. There is no defense whatsoever. Okay? And you are the victim who should never, ever, ever have been put in that situation. And I'm sorry. And I wish I could do something to take it away. I wish we could turn back the clock. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. But you must not take any responsibility for it whatsoever. Do you understand?
Well, certainly. And that's something, I really hear what you're saying.
You're hearing it, but are you listening? You're hearing it. I get this a lot.
Trust me, I can assure you. I have.
Because it's very important you understand and repeat to yourself every single day that you did nothing wrong.
And I have support as well, I must say. I do have support work.
But listen to me. I'm not sure you're fully listening. I'm not sure you're fully having clarity on what I'm saying. No amount of justification by anybody under any circumstances will ever be an excuse for what happened to you. It is despicable and disgraceful, and you should never, ever, ever have had to go through it because you were a child, okay? Do you understand? You're not listening to me fully, and you're in your head disagreeing with me. But I'm telling you, as a guy who's been...
I think that's a bit of dissociation. Dissociate.
But I want you to repeat, because your mental... I understand, but your mental illness will be caused by the fact that you're trying to rationalize it and explain it, and I'm telling you there is no explanation. The evil actions of a person who will touch a child is... I hate to say, I'm glad they're dead, and I hope they're rotting in hell. There is absolutely no defense ever for touching a minor, anybody under 16, under any situation ever. There's and especially at 9. So you must know that and repeat that to yourself. This isn't your fault.
I will, sir, and I appreciate what you're saying. Obviously it's a bit raw talking about it and stuff publicly, but I've talked about this for the past 20 years with therapists and such. But
why haven't they? But it's not worked, because I could tell by your... I've been doing this too long, 25 years in the business.
Well, I've got a story actually about the NHS and mental health services, as told to me.
I know you want to move on, by the way, sir, but I'm too clever for you. It won't work with me. I'm very concerned that you've had therapy and they haven't underscored a million times that being affected by an adult... No, they
call the police on me. That's if I say I'm having thoughts and I'm distressed and I just want to talk to someone. They go, oh, and they just kind of end the conversation quickly. They rush you along. This is the mental health crisis team. And then they ring the police. And then the police came over to me one day and, they arranged to meet me because mental health services had talked to them, saying I felt, suicidal or whatever. And the police said, the amount of times we've had run-ins with the mental health services, and I was
because
like,
they're out of their depth.
If I'd talked to someone the way I'm talking to you now, talking to the police officer, you wouldn't have needed to be called.
This is very worrying to me. I don't want to know any more details about you for fear of identifying you. We know we can't identify the fellow girl, because I presume it was a man, was it?
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
I presume it was a man and not a woman who did this. I'm presuming...
No, I was a woman.
It was well, this is even more curious, because that's very rare, by the way, statistically, very, very rare. But again, Freud, I don't know whether you know much about psychology, and Freud would say that this is going to impact you massively. And I'm not going to ask whether it was your mother or a sister or an auntie, but your relationship, the man's relationship with a senior woman will always affect them more greatly than even a man. And probably what you need to get to the nub of, okay, is your relationship. Are you a homosexual man or are you a straight man?
I'm straight. I've thought about it. When I was younger, I tried to experiment, but I think I kissed a bloke, and I was just like, no, I don't like the stubble. So I was like, no, I enjoy women a lot more.
But never mind the stubble. Do you like a penis? You can be very honest with me that we're all friends.
Not really.
Okay,
not really. Otherwise, I would have done it. I've had plenty of opportunity.
Good. Well, okay.
I've been inebriated, so
good. So we're just trying to get to the clarity. So you're a straight man. Which
there's anything wrong with that?
So no, not at all. Being straight is perfectly fine, even in 2020. But I'm curious about your relationships with women in line of what we've got, because I think a good psychologist, and you haven't had a good psychologist so far, by the way, a good psychologist will say that because of what you've been through, that again I'm going to repeat and repeat, was not your fault, because no amount of sexual abuse is ever defensible, no matter who it was from, no matter how old you are at 9 years old. No justification is necessary. It's completely indefensible. But this will affect your relationships. How are you with women coming up to nearly 40?
Right. Well, no, I'm very keen to go down this avenue. I'm very, curious myself. But I was going to talk about COVID. And
I'm not interested in COVID. It's irrelevant compared to you. I'd rather talk about you.
No. So what was the question? Sorry.
What is your relationship like with women?
To women. Well, my parents got divorced around the same. I'm the same age as Prince William, and my mother was the same age as Princess Diana. Everyone seemed to get divorced at the same time. But I witnessed a particularly nasty divorce and interactions between my mother and father. So I never want to repeat that process, because I know I get rage. It's almost addictive. I get so angry, and that's probably from all the years that men have beat me and I couldn't do anything about it, and they told me I couldn't do anything about it, and then I get to a position where I can do something about it.
Pause. Calm down.
And then I become a mad guy.
Sir.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you need to pause and calm down. Who are these men who are beating you?
My dad, teachers, lads where I grew up. I couldn't even walk down the street. There's loads of suppressed memories. I remember running into a gang and then my memory goes blank. I can't remember what they did, but they used to take lads and beat them up. And
I suspect most of this will feed
everywhere.
back. Well, it's not everywhere. That's not true. So I've never been beat up in my life. So let's calm down with that. Well, but I think possibly what you've been through will make you react to others in a different way that they won't know how to handle, which could explain it. And again, a good psychologist.
And then I go into these shops and they say, wear the masks and do this and do that and do that. And I see authority figure. I don't know what the future holds. And this is the point I wanted to make. I lied there last night in bed and I go, oh God, I can't see a future. And I'm just wondering if any other men are feeling like that, because it's really concerning.
Many people.
About me. This year, it's not about me. It's about everyone else suffering at the hands of these bastards elitists.
Sir, I'm trying to help you. Try and not go too wide in these bastards that are trying to bring you down. I'll worry about things like that. Let's worry about you, because you're the only one I'm worried about. Firstly, rules is rules. Yeah, well, you mustn't get into fights, and you need help with this big time. Are you medicated as we speak, sir? And this isn't an insult. Okay.
I'm on a mood stabilizer, that kind of...
Well, it's not working. Could you tell me what you're on, please?
Quetiapine.
Okay.
And citalopram.
Right.
Which is an SSRI.
I don't know what that is, but what else are you on?
No. It's basically anxiety medication.
Yeah, I think you need to go back to your doctor and tell him, in light of this year, which has been a struggle for anybody who has great mental health, let alone someone who doesn't. And that isn't an insult, by the way. It's a fact. I think they need to tweak your meds to calm you down, because you're now passive-aggressively getting upset about things that you're really not upset about. You're moving, in other words, your aggression to your past, to what's going on in the present, and that's not going to help you, sir.
I agree with you, and it's only when you point it out, it's like...
Yes.
Only when you
trust me, the masks.
I am doing that.
The masks are the least of your worries. You can wear a mask; it's no problem. In light of everything else you've been through, this is a personal question, and I'm not pressing you for an answer. I'm asking you, if you choose not to answer it, of course you must say no if you feel uncomfortable with the question.
I grew up with lies, Alex. I'm sick of it.
I understand.
I'll be truthful as possible.
I'm getting that, but you mustn't feel pressured into answer it. I don't want names of anybody whatsoever. But what was the relationship between the person who abused you and yourself? Can you reveal that, or is that too far?
She was an aunt.
She was an aunt. Okay. Can I ask?
I don't want to. No, I don't want my family to drag them in.
No, well, your family should have protected you and supported you, but that's an issue for later.
I told my father at the time it was happening, and he said, "Don't do it again."
Right. Well, but you know he's wrong.
A bloody bottle of milk or something.
I know, but you know he's wrong, and she's appalling, and he was wrong. You do know that, right? That a victim of sexual abuse is not to blame.
Yeah.
You do know that, right? In the back of your mind somewhere, that you are certainly not to blame in any of this.
Yeah, if I picture any child, then I can sort of see, that's obviously not what should be happening.
Do you have any children, just out of curiosity?
No, I've got nieces and nephews. My brothers have managed to build life for themselves. So
okay. Do you see those nephews and nieces?
Can't see anyone really at the moment, but I have video calls, and
I think you need to go right back to the beginning, and you need to go back to your doctor and beg for help, and say, I've been talking to someone, and he's given me advice that the meds are not working, and I need more help with that, but I also need therapy, deep therapy, as to root cause what is going on in my brain, to find out where my anger is coming from, stems from being sexually abused at 9 years old. There is no question that your anger about masks is not about the masks. It's about the fact that you're very pissed off and have every right to be with life that's let you down. And I'm terribly sorry. And I wish I could do something to take away your pain. I wish I could do something to take away your past. And I wish I could help you, but I can't. Only you can help you. But the root of your happiness will come from resolving your past. And what has happened to you is disgusting. Those who were complicit should be ashamed. And you are not to blame, is all I can tell you. Please go to your doctor and tell him what I've just told you there, and try and get some help. And you're welcome to call back anytime. We're here for you. All right, sir?
Well, it went a different direction than what I was planning, but I appreciate everything.
I'm very good at what I do.
Back.
25 years, I'm very good at what I do. Very good. I can smell...
I don't disagree with you.
No, I'm always right. I can smell a rat, and I know when somebody's got something they want to tell me that they're trying not to tell me, and I know when somebody's struggling, and I would like to help a little way if I can. I'm not a doctor, and I can't prescribe you medication, but a doctor can.
No.
What we need to find out is exactly what you need to be prescribed, because I feel they've got the mix wrong. And if we can get to the root of that, that will help you be calmer and happier, and then we can delve in to resolve what abomination happened to you at 9 years old. And again, I repeat, I'm terribly sorry, because you didn't deserve it, and it is not your fault. All right, sir?
Well, just my well wishes to other blokes who were going through this, who were going stir
well,
crazy.
Never mind about them. I'm worried about you. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and I want you to take care. All right, sir?
All right, mate. Take care.
Love you.
Take care, Alex. Bye.
Love you. Ta-ra. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you too.
Ta-da. 0115 888 2169 is my number. Sometimes people don't like long calls. Sometimes I don't care what you think. I have to do what I have to feel is right. And when callers need my time and my help, I think the least I can do is give them that. And when a caller like that calls in, I've been doing this too long to know that he needed an ear to understand him and try and help him. And if he gets help, there is always help. But it's getting to the root of it. And in life, I've learned that only people can change themselves and change their destiny. And some people are incapable of that and some people aren't. But I will never apologize for giving people time on this program. And frankly, if you don't like it, switch off. If you found any moment of that uncomfortable and that you would rather hear me dicking around doing jokes about Gemma Collins, this is not the station for you. That's the fluff. That last call is what we really do here, which is to try and help people when I can and use my experience to try and guide somebody on a path that could make them happier, just a scintilla happier. And I smelt that from the beginning. This is a live phone-in where I have no idea who's calling or what they're calling about. For those of you who think that any of this is staged or a prank call, there is none of that here. We don't have time for it. But if you felt that it wasn't for you, this station isn't for you, because I will always take any live call and give them the time they deserve. So there you are. I'm not apologising. It's 22:22. It is a Sunday night. My name's Alex Belfeild. This is The Voice of Reason. And we move on to our next call. Hello, who's calling?
Hello.
Hi, who's that?
It's Tom.
Hi, Tom. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the way that everything is going on right now, and the mental health crisis, I think, that is going on in the world.
Well, we've just done a call on mental health. If you don't mind, could you call back on Wednesday? Or I don't want to do that again, because I think I've covered everything I think about mental health, and it frankly just becomes depressing. But if there's anything else you'd like to talk about, I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What other topics are going on?
Well, you listen to the programme and then call me back. All right, sir?
Okay.
Right, love.
Yeah.
Ta-ra. Bye-bye. 0115 888 2169. Hello, who's calling? Hi, who's calling? Okay, we'll go to another one who's actually paying attention, a full switchboard for a Sunday night. Hello, who's there?
Oh, hello. Marvellous. I was able to get through.
Sorry, sir. We've been very busy, and sometimes I have to give time to callers, and I make no apology for it. So I'm sorry you've had to keep trying, but thank you for getting through. What can I do for you?
No, it's just marvellous I was able to get through. I think the talk you was giving on mental health with the previous caller, I'm going to restrain myself from swearing, because often that's how I express myself. My mother's like, you shouldn't swear, and I'm like, I effing want to.
No, I do all the time. You know, I've had a very blessed life, and my life has been ups and downs business-wise, and being sacked and being hired and having legal battles and this and that and the other thing. But, you know, I have the most amazing family and I have the most amazing friends. And I was very blessed that I wasn't abused as a child. I didn't have parents who were divorced. I've got an amazing group of friends who have had my back through the entire period. I have new friends now who I've met in the last year who are even more incredible. I am very lucky, and I think that for me to not use this platform when somebody needs my time would be very wrong. And if it's not to people's taste, so be it. But I do what I think's right at the time, and I could tell that gentleman, he would have very easily talked about masks and being angry, but I knew that wasn't what he was calling about, and that's the joy of doing a phone in like this. So thank you for indulging me and giving him time, and I make no apology for it. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, as I was just saying, I think it's marvellous. It's almost like you've got sort of a piece of psychology and you didn't even study or do anything for it. And I think that's
25 years. It's not tricky. It's if you have a thing called empathy, right, and you have the ability to listen. I know I talk a lot, but trust me, I'm listening more than I'm talking in my own head. You can read the room, and most journalists can't do it. That's why they're unlikable, and you instantly don't like them. Because I
think it's just your experience in life. If you take that as something you can sort of read or listen to, like a book or a movie, you can apply that to just about anything and try and figure it out from there.
And imagine having a life where at 9 years old your auntie has abused you, and then living the rest of your life believing that might have been normal and it could even be your fault. I mean, what a disadvantage. How could you ever judge a man who is struggling after going through that?
That's the thing. A lot of people are mentally, it's not their fault, but so many people are mentally unwell from a younger age, and it really isn't their fault. It's nothing to do with them, but they are psychologically damaged from a younger age upwards, and it's ridiculously unfair. And a number of studies have been done about this. I can't remember the name of them all now, but
I read a lot, and I'm telling you, I hope that cunt rots in hell. I really do. Anybody that would touch a child to me is dead, and I just think it is the greatest sin, because you are affecting somebody who will have to pay for it the rest of their life. And I don't know many people who have been abused that end up terribly happy. It's very rare, because it sticks with you.
I myself have never ruled out the rule, but if I would do whatever it takes to protect the ones I love. But
yes,
that is always just going to be a sick thing. But then again, you have to understand those people themselves must have been somewhat disturbed or abused themselves, and you have to think, well, where does it start? It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the, if you notice, one of the questions I asked him was, does he see his nephews? Because I was just worried for their protection too, because there's two ways it goes. If you read enough, that you either become the person who ends the circle of shit, or you become the abuser, and this is proven in time. So that's where I was going with that. It was a relief to find out actually that he's having Facebook messages, and that's probably the best. But I wish him all the best and hope he gets help from his doctor. Anything else I can do for you, sir? Thank you for your call, by the way. Thank you for letting me explain.